Good morning everybody, and welcome to this introduction to KCPOS for the tourist industry. This morning I just want to take you through a quick overview and run of some of the key features of KCPOS within the industry of tourism, and some of the features that make KCPOS fit very well in this area. So first of all, you should now be able to see the KCPOS screen and be able to see exactly the general login and look and feel of KCPOS. I'm now just going to log into the KCPOS system, and KCPOS can be logged in a variety of different ways, including passwords, swipe cards, barcodes, Dallas keys, a variety of different options. So first of all, I'm going to look at gift aid. So from a tourist and charity perspective, obviously gift aid is a very important requirement, and provides a facility to be able to record gift aid, people's names, addresses, details that are associated with each of the transactions. So we can set up the tills, and we can set up products within the tills as being gift aidable. So if I was to go to my section at the bottom, which is our custom menus, and these menus you can configure yourselves per till or per group of tills as to how you want them to be. I've got them set up into different areas for admissions, cafe, gift shop. If I go into my admissions section, I've got annual tickets, day tickets, groups. If I was to go to a day and say I want an adult ticket, it will now ask me if I'm a UK taxpayer and would I like to gift aid this now. So if I was to say yes, it will now ask me for my details, and I can enter in details that are associated with my account. Now, KCPOS also has the facility to integrate with postcode lookup. So again, if in this scenario, if I was using postcode lookup, I would purely just enter in postcode, house number, and the rest of the address will be filled in for me. So that's now captured. We have the ability to be able to also associate this car or this gift aid with a physical card, a member card. So again, if it's a membership style of sale that we're doing, we can actually do an annual ticket, for instance. We can set them up so that we can swipe a card with them, so that when the person comes back, they purely swipe that card. That card then will have an expiry date, etc., associated with it to be able to know what's doing. Oh, I need to store a card with there, and away we go. So do I want to process this now? Yes, I will. So I'm now working along with that customer and their day ticket. We can now go on, we can now sell other things. We can also put a child onto there, for instance, or if we want an extra child, 2 children to 1 adult. We can also sell family tickets, etc. So if I now go onto the tender screen, KCPOS can also be set up to prompt the operator for upselling. So in this scenario, would we like to sell a gift book or a guidebook? And what we can do is when we answer yes to this, it can bring up as a list of certain books or certain categories of stock to show us what we want to pick from. So I'm going to pick a guidebook. I'm going to add that to the sale. So again, now when I go onto the tender screen, I can now take tender. So if I was to take cash, card, I can take a mixture of both. I can take as many different tenders as I wish and set up different ones. With credit card scenarios, then the situation is that you can have both integrated and non-integrated, and a mixture on site. So from an integration perspective, we integrate fully with Verifone, SagePay and TNS. Each of these provide you with a end-to-end encryption, so fully PCI compliant solution, and literally all that would happen is if you press the card button, the card machine would now ask you to insert the card, or contactless, touch, swipe, Apple Pay, all of those styles are all supported. So I can do cash, I'll accept that. We can now within KCPOS also capture information for marketing sources. So you can set up a list within KCPOS of where did you hear about us? So does that come from friends, family, recommendations, a promotion that you're running to see if people are doing it? So it's an existing customer, we'll say, and away we go. Now I've got the system set up to do a receipt print onto the screen so you can see what's happening. Normally this would print out on a thermal printer, etc. The system will also print, because I've sold physical tickets to the person coming in, KCPOS can be set up to optionally print physical tickets out as well. So I've got it set up to print an adult ticket, child ticket and another child ticket, because I sold 2 children's tickets and 1 adult. So that's now printed off physical tickets, which can go either to a thermal printer or to a physical proper printer for tickets to actually print out and give to the customer so that they can use them for admissions. So it's very quick, very easy for us to be able to put products through and sell. Like I say, we can set up customers as being having an annual ticket, so that when they come back we can swipe that card, we can see how many times they've come in within the year, we can see, you know, what they've done in terms of number of visits, at what frequency, and we can also against that optionally put an expiry date, so that when they come back in 12 months time, tells them expired, they need to buy a new annual pass, and away we go again in that respect. Now, one of the big powers of KCPOS is its integration with the account solution, and the integration with the accounts is very, very tight integration at a very high level. So this allows us to be able to extract information from the accounts package, including things like special prices, sale prices, promotional prices, discounts, etc. that you've got set up within the accounts package, and the till will fully respect those prices and structures. What you can also do from the till's perspective is you can use and produce account sales. Now from a tourist perspective, you may be wondering, why on earth would I want to be able to do an account sale? These scenarios work very well for things like school visits or a business that's coming in to actually bring a certain number of people in. So if you've got a school that's set up within your accounts package in the sales ledger, and you want to allow them to come in, bring so many people in, but book it to account, so that in or at the end of the month you can then send them 1 invoice for every time they've been in, and so on. That can be done. It can go to account, they can have a credit limit with you, all of that side can be done. So from an account sale perspective, we can go in, we can search, we can see all of our customers that are in there, we can do an inquiry on them to see what balance they've got already, what their credit limit is, where we sit in terms of available credit to them to be able to do. And if we were to pick an account that's over its credit limit and try and process a transaction, the system will indicate and warn us of that scenario. And if we don't have permissions to be able to accept that, the system will stop us from being able to process it. There are certain scenarios you can set up, so you've got manager users that can override that and allow that sale to go through still, but the system will, with permission or without permissions, will prevent that sale being able to go through. With KCPOS as well, we also have the same till system can be used in a variety of different areas and environments within your business. So the actual scenario can be that you can set up the tills for admissions, for a cafe, for a gift shop, for a little ice cream hut, that style of thing. So what the till system allows you to do is these custom menus down the bottom can be configured per till or per group of tills to work for whatever environment needs to be. So from a admissions perspective, you may just have the admissions system set up so that the front screen is set up purely with the tickets on, so instantly you're just selling those tickets straight away, and maybe guidebooks as well. From a cafe perspective, you'll probably find that you'll have it set up where it's straight into food, drinks, and away you go, hot, cold, and you can go down as many levels as you wish. From a gift shop, the gift shop, hopefully a lot of the items within the gift shop will be barcoded already, so you'd just be able to scan those items, and on the menus you would then purely have items which don't have a barcode, or are your most common quick sellers that you can set up, go through, sell, and very quickly to put onto the transaction. So it's very easy for us to set these menus up. You know, I can switch to a different menu on here and actually show a totally different look, feel. So So each different till can be configured, can be set up to have its own menu that's specific to the environment and the area that it's actually working within. So as I mentioned earlier, the till itself has a lot of standard functionality, a lot of features within the system that come out of the box. So this includes the ability to be able to do things like receipt history and park sales. So if we were to take a look at park sales, for instance, I'm partway through a transaction now, customer then realises they need something. We're in the gift shop, they realise they want to purchase something else, but there's a queue of people that's there. What we can actually do is we can purely park this transaction to the side. We can give it a little reference if we want to. This will put this to the side. I can now serve the next customer and away I go. When that person comes back, and they don't have to come back to the same till, they can go to any of the tills that exist within the branch. They can then go back to the either park sale, restore, find the transaction, restore it. We can then carry on where we left off with that customer to process the transaction through, and away we go. So we can go through, we'll take the payment, we'll put it on card. Thank you. You heard us from the website. Excellent. So it's very quick, very easy for us to do. Reprinting, somebody wants a reprint of a receipt, or if they want to look at receipt history, we can look back over. There is no limitation in terms of period that we want to look back to. We can look back and it will show us those transactions that's there, that we've sold, discounts given, etc. So we can look at all of the receipts, the history. We can also, from within here, reprint copies of the receipt, and we can also print and optionally print A4 invoices as well, A4 receipts. So from a business perspective or from a school perspective where they want a full-blown A4 receipt, this is the best option to use for them. It allows you to print off a full-blown receipt as well as a thermal receipt if they so wish. So it puts you in a great position for being able to do that. KCPOS itself also has standard functionality to be able to jump into the administrator, and the administrator allows us to be able to see what's happening with the actual menus. So we can see these menus that we talked about in terms of the KCPOS. So within here, the KCPOS menus allow us to be able to define as many different menus as we wish. If I look at my tourist menu and my main admissions, if I look for my main index page, this now puts us in a position of being able to do those admissions, cafes, gift shops, so we can see the menus that we've got set up. So it's very easy for you to be able to set your own menus up, and very quick and easy for you to be able to do it. Also within here, KCPOS has the facility to be able to do its own discounts and its promotions. These are above and beyond what the standard accounts package has as its facilities for being able to do them. So within here we can set up things like buy one get one free, giveaways, meal deals. So again, with those scenarios we can actually do a meal deal. So any crisps, any drink, any sandwich, all for a fixed price. Giveaways in terms of, or buy one or buy X get Y free. So we can buy 3 get 1 free, buy 2 get 1 free, those style of things. And with each of these we're able to set them up so that we can do discounts based on date ranges, time ranges and certain days of the week. So within those days of the week we can actually say, okay, this discount or this promotion is running for the month of November. It's running between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, but it's only running on Saturdays and Sundays. So you have then the ability to be able to tailor that right down to how you wish those promotions and when you wish them to kick in automatically from a till's perspective. Another aspect of KCPOS is the ability for it to be able to be used for queue busting. So with queue busting, KCPOS has the ability to be able to be installed on a tablet PC. So with that tablet PC, you can then in effect queue bust. So if we've got a long line of people waiting to come in, we can use the tablet, we can walk down the line, we can speak to people, find out what tickets they want. We can take their gift aid information, so their name, address, postcode, etc. And again, that can all still work with the postcode lookup. So we're capturing all of the data as we walk down the queue. Those people can then, subject to what style you've got set up, you could either take payment and so on from them then and there. If you all want the payments to go through the main tills, then the queue busting system can park the transaction to the side. When the customer gets to the counter, they just go, my name was Neil Bedford. The operator will be able to pick it up from a park sale, be able to see Neil Bedford, pick him up. Yeah, that was 2 adults, 2 children and a guidebook. Process that, take the credit card payment, away they go through. It's got all of the name, address, details, contents of the sale, all built in and all associated with the actual transaction generated via the queue busting system. So this puts you in a position where from a queue busting, you'll be able to walk down the line, make life so much easier in terms of working with those people and keeping the line moving in a lot quicker and easier fashion. KCPOS itself also has lots of other functions built in, so we can look at some of the till functions. If we were to look at, for instance, a Z read that exists within the till, these Z reads show us our tenders that we've taken for the day on the till, what discounts we have actually taken from our promotions, and what values and number of times have been done. If we've had any account sales, if we've got a total summary now of our sales. And with this, we can break our sales down into 2 different categories, a wet and dry, for instance, so food and drink, if you want to break it down like that. We can also do time banding. So down the left-hand side, we have a 24-hour clock. That 24-hour clock then shows us against each of those time bands. So from 10 o'clock till 11, we've had 114 products sold to 23 customers, value, average sale, etc. So from an analysis perspective, this allows you to be able to see and view the information that's crucial to your business, to be able to see when people are coming in. You may have staff that start at 8 o'clock in the morning, but actually looking at the actual transactional side, you don't get any customers realistically come in until 10, 11 o'clock. So those staff, or some of those staff from the main counters, can be redeployed to be used elsewhere in a more efficient manner, and then come back to the tills nearer the time for actually of getting busy. And again, KCPOS then will also show you further down a cashier report. So this is each individual operator of the till, what they have done, how many sales they've done, how many transaction voids they've done, discounts, corrections, prices, refunds, etc. So this again, from a management perspective, allows you to be able to see each individual operator, who's doing voids, how many they're doing, what's going on with that, number of refunds, price overrides. So you can, from a management perspective, make sure that the right staff are giving the right discounts, and if somebody's doing way too many voids, it can highlight the fact that they're either in a position where they need further training, or there may be something strange that's going on from a transactional perspective, where things are not how they should be with that staff member. And again, all sorts of standard functions that you'd expect to be able to do. We can do things that we class as modifiers. Modifiers are facilities to upsell. So with upselling, we have the ability to be able to associate with products additional products. So for instance, a prime example would be if I was to sell a torch, the system can pop up to the operator, say, would the customer like the batteries? If they say yes, it will add to the transaction the appropriate batteries, either at the price of the batteries normally, or it may be that there's a special price if you buy the torch and the batteries together. It'll put them on at that price, and you can configure that within the system. So that sort of thing allows you to be able to upsell and to prompt your operators to upsell to those customers as and when they're going through the transactions and the sales. And that is a very quick and highlighted overview of KCPOS from a visitor and tourist attraction perspective. I hope you found it interesting. We will be producing some more videos as we go through and some more webinars. So I hope to speak to some of you very soon. Thank you very much.